What's up, everyone? This is Dan with Getting It Out. You're listening to Scoped Exposure Podcast.
Okay, cool. Are you good to go get it, Matt?
Yes, I am ready to rock and roll.
Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. This is another episode of the Scoped Exposure Podcast, a actual new style of episodes here in the podcast. I don't know why I just did that with my hands, but yeah, my name is Spencer, and joined with me today is our very own Matt. Say what's up to the folks.
What's up, internet? You got to see my face more than,
Yeah.
Or for the audio listeners.
Yeah. No one's seeing your face who's listening to it.
No one's seeing my, yeah. I'm just so excited.
Can you turn up your audio just a smidge?
Yes. How's this?
That's mint condition.
Perfect. Perfect.
So anyways, yeah, like, for anyone that's been following Scoped in the last, I would say, year or so, knows that we do a kind of a weekly playlist updated every Monday, and we'll throw some themes on there and some new bands, new demos, and a lot of that comes from myself, but also Matt. We do a lot of different collaborations and pass things back and forth. And, as far as the time of recording this, we actually hit our, I guess, 1 year anniversary since doing that.
It's our confetti cannon.
Yeah. And it was definitely one of those things that came out of necessity because of this pandemic, obviously. Like anyone that knows Scope for longer than a year's time knows that we film bands on the regular, but obviously there's no shows to film. So in the midst of, needing to feed the content beast, Matt and I decided to do a playlist every Monday. And
we didn't start.
Yeah.
We didn't start as playlist DJs.
Yeah.
We started off as filmers, but with the pandemic.
Yeah. And no better person to help curate that with than DJ Alien Matt himself. So
than an ex-DJ, yes.
Yeah. No, Matt's got some good picks, and I really,
Thank you.
I was trying to figure out different projects that can involve different members of the Scope team, because a lot of the last year has just been my face. So I'm really, really excited to finally have Matt on board, and this is kind of a pilot test episode. So I'm thinking we might do these for any monthly recap list. We might even go back in time to January and February and March. But as far as April goes, April had a magnificent amount
of a month
of great tunes. So we're definitely going to be so the way this style of the episode is going to go, Matt and I have both picked 5 tracks for a total of 10 that we're going to feature here on the episode. We're going to listen to it. Some tracks Matt, I don't think, has even heard of, so going to be a first timer. But yeah, have I missed anything, or?
I think that's it. I think it's time to jump in and get ready to chat about all these heater tracks. It was hard.
Yeah,
it was hard to pick, but I wanted to do a wide range, and so I'm stoked.
Yeah, normally for the monthly, we're jumping around as far as topics goes, and we're definitely going to get into the new music. But traditionally, when we started doing these playlists, I was like, oh, we'll only feature bands that we filmed before, because someone could listen to a band on the playlist and then go see a live set that we had filmed, and that became very boring and repetitive, like very quickly. Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and they were all like, and we thought we would be able to continue it, but then shows stopped happening, and then we're like, okay, let's adjust to the current situation.
Yeah. And I think it was definitely just a neat thing out of necessity. And as I think one of the first times where we started to venture out of bands that we had documented before was these monthly recaps. And those became a great way to connect with new bands and support those bands that are putting out new music. But again, it just pushes out, like, sometimes we'll do like a straight edge only, or songs under a minute or things like that. But these new monthly recaps are definitely the most popular of all the playlists that we've done for sure.
And with that straight edge playlist, it was a lot of fun putting it together, because I don't think there was one band on there that I heard of. And so even curating these playlists have opened my eyes to a lot of new bands and scenes that I didn't expect to be out there. And every week there's one or two new bands that I end up falling in love with, because so
Yeah,
it's been fun.
And that's the whole goal of the playlist, is just to put people onto new bands. And it's definitely become apparent how many people are kind of lazy when it comes to discovering new bands.
Oh, totally.
Because it's not this active thing that they're searching for.
No one really listens to the radio anymore, and going and using Spotify's radio sometimes shows that there are like more than just the 10 songs that we all enjoy, and sometimes there's a lot of good songs and a lot of songs that you wouldn't normally listen to.
Right.
So
yeah, and I think like building up a bit of a reputation to be like, okay, I know the start of every month Scoped is gonna bring it with 50 tracks from a wide range of different heavy genres, is it's been cool to see that. So
yeah, and that we're not just one like punk hardcore, we're also like death metal. We feature death metal and like doom metal and stuff, and so
yeah,
the variety is there.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things, and you're gonna definitely hear that on the tracks that we go. Not to linger too much on it, I know a lot of people that are either listeners of the podcast or just fans of Scoped in general have been begging and dying and pleading, when are you going to get playlists on Apple Music? Because it's always been Spotify.
Is this an announcement?
This is an announcement. So
what?
The Listen Up playlist and a number of other longer lists that we're curating are currently now on Apple Music. So if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, you can go over to your music app and get that.
I'm gonna sign up for Apple Music right now. Goodbye Spotify.
Well, if you have Spotify already, it applies to both.
That is true.
No one cares about the back end shit, but I had to do a lot of research to find.
Is it hard?
Essentially, you have to go through a third party to sync your Spotify to your Apple Music. So like,
that's good to know.
I care about anyone that's been following Scope stuff. So I now have 2 streaming services, which is so unnecessary, but necessary.
But it is
to give you guys what you want and what you need. So
that's good to know, because I've recently started a project that involves playlists, and Apple Music would be something to jump onto, because there is that small percent that say no to Spotify and oh yeah to Apple Music.
Well, even just on our podcast analytics, a lot like it. The biggest chunk is Apple Podcasts. So I'm like, we should probably give those folks some playlists as well.
Also, not a lot of people know that Spotify is a big podcast platform as well. They still think it's, I get a lot of my podcast viewings from or listening through Spotify. Sure. And so, yeah. And I talk to people every once in a while and they're like, whoa, Spotify does podcasts?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Like if, gun to my head and I could only pick one, I would probably pick Spotify, because I feel like their algorithms and all that are definitely top tier. But for the folks at home that are listening, and I have been getting the DMs about this for months, your prayers have been answered, and the Listen Up playlist, and again, Santa does listen. But yeah, that's a little announcement at the top of the episode. Again, not to lag on, but it wouldn't be a Scoped Exposure podcast experience without checking some bevs.
Season 2. Whoa, my favorite part. And I have a exciting surprise for you, Spencer.
Yeah, please hit me with it.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want me to bev check first?
Well, yes. Yeah, it's
Okay, well,
you're
yes, the
as far
guest.
as this style of episode, you are the co-host,
Yeah.
but co-host and
Oh,
then host.
that's true. Okay,
That's
so
true.
I've got so I've got a local brew. It's by a lot of homies that are in the hardcore industry.
Oh, okay.
Or scene. It's Jackknife.
Jackknife,
I
great.
got Jackknife. I am drinking their Wizard Sticks, which is, in my opinion, is the best one. And the art is done by Andrew McDonald, who is the guitarist or bassist for Gardner,
Okay. Okay.
a doom metal band from Vernon.
Cool.
If we ever do a doom metal playlist, I'll definitely be putting them on. And yeah, I mean, look at that artwork.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
That's metal as fuck.
Yeah, and then I've got a second bev, which I was very surprised.
What's going on, Matt?
I found Liquid Death. And
love that.
So
love that.
I was look at that. So I was very surprised. I'm pretty sure we've had Liquid Death in Kelowna for a couple of years because, long story short, I've been seeing it around a lot. And then I went to Walmart. I went to Petro. I went to a few places and I couldn't find it, but I found it at a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, that's where they're at up here in Canada. It's all 7-Eleven.
Okay, well, that's good to know. So shout out to 7-Eleven. I've never had Liquid Death before, so this is gonna be a first.
Oh my gosh, there's all this new shit for this episode.
I bought this 2 days ago and it's been in my fridge, and it's everything. I've had to hold everything to not try and drink it but I was
you want to have it documented on the podcast. Exactly. The very first time. Well,
I'm very excited.
Yeah, shout out to Liquid Death. Officially, unofficially sponsored by them. But hopefully that locks in maybe in the next little while. Shout out to Sticks. And shout out to Jackknife because that is I think the guy that runs it plays bass in Cloaker. That's
one of the guys. I think it's like 2-3 guys who run Jackknife. Yeah. But the guy that slings the Zaws
they do pizza nowadays, as well.
Yeah. He plays bass in Cloaker, and like a bunch of other bands. I think Pure Heaven. No, not Pure Heaven. So yeah. And then I got a third beverage.
Matt, what is going on?
You're gonna hate me. So it's a blackberry bubbly. I do like bubbly, but that's gonna be in the background.
This is too funny because I've talked shit on bubbly publicly on this podcast.
I know,
but
that's why I brought it.
I bought a case of blackberry bubbly yesterday.
Holy.
Sorry.
This is big.
I bought because everyone's been like blackberry, that's the flavor, and I've never been able to find it. And then I bought a king can of it at a 7-Eleven, and I was like, I'll give this a go. And I was like, okay, I understand the hype. So
look at that.
You won't catch any other flavors in my fridge, just blackberry, if anything.
Try their lime one. That one pretty rocks too.
Nah, I don't like the lime one. It's not for me.
Right, well, I'm gonna continue drinking.
Well, Matt has brought 3 bevs, but I've just brought 1 because I thought that's what we were doing. But this is from our sponsor, New Level Brewing. I've actually been dying to check this for a special episode just because it's pretty wild. So it's called Annihilation of the Wicked. It's a double IPA. A badass looking like snake being cut up. Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
It's 8.2%, and it's so I'm gonna take that gradually as we get through the episode. Yeah. But it's been a can that I've had in the fridge for a long time, so I'm glad that we're finally doing this. It's bachelor night for me because Bryn's not gonna be home tonight, so I don't feel. Hey!
I mean, no.
Well, I'm gonna crack this. Oh my gosh!
Shoot, I'm gonna crack the liquid. No, I'm gonna crack the. So I forgot to mention.
Already.
I forgot to mention mine's a Nordic IPA.
Oh,
it's
okay. So
6.5%.
IPA gang
So
on the
yeah,
listen up playlist
I mean, you
show.
mentioned it. I'm gonna open the Liquid Death one.
Also, I didn't tell Matt this, but I think this
Oh,
series that we're gonna do is gonna be called Listen TF Up. So listen the fuck up, but just TF because we can't say the fuck in the title.
no.
So yeah, this is the Listen TF Up show, episode 1, April 2020 recap edition.
Let's freaking go. Also, this tastes like Guinness. Like
It's water, Matt. Don't confuse the
but
people.
it tastes like it tastes. Yes,
It's your mind.
It's water.
It's
It
your
is my
mind playing
mind.
tricks on you.
So the unofficial review, but also review. This is better than bubbly.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Death to
And now
bubbly, death to plastic,
Yeah.
liquid death all the way.
I mean, yeah, they come in cans. What's not to like about
Yeah.
them? This is really good.
Yeah. I again, just trying to push the liquid death love out into the ethos through this podcast and in real life. So
I'm stoked that we have these here.
absolutely. So without further ado, let's get into some music because that's what the people are here for.
That
For the
is true,
people that
no,
have listened to us check 4 bevs between 2 people and and just ramble. But
Welcome to the Bev Check episode.
so again, Matt has picked 5 songs off of our April 2021 recap. I've picked 5. We're gonna kind of go back and
All
forth.
heaters.
We're gonna, do a proper little recap of the band, where they're from, and some details around the song and what it's off of. But then give a little 2 cents about each track, why we picked it. We'll listen to it, and then we'll do a little recap and move on to the next one. So, Matt, how about you go first, my guy?
So I picked Minefield from Jacksonville, Florida. Excuse me. The track is The Final Storm. It's a single through Bullet Tooth, and their full album is to be released in June.
June of this year.
And June of 2021.
Yeah. And why did you pick this song to kick off this first episode?
The album cover is really what caught my attention. And so I figured, you know what? Only all songs that have really good cover arts are only heaters. So I based them all off of their cover art.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was funny when so have you listened to this song before, or is it just this is a blind pick?
Not. This is a blind pick.
That's...
all of them are blind picks.
Oh my gosh.
We're really
Yeah, because when we were talking about this, Matt wanted to have like a real, raw, authentic reaction to some of these songs. And I let him go first because I was like, I curated the bulk majority of this. You can pick. And then I was like, I really hope he doesn't pick this one because it's definitely one that I would pick. I was like, fuck. So yeah, I want to hard agree.
Great minds think alike.
I've heard this. I've probably repeated this song like probably 3 to 7 times a day in the last little bit since it's come out. And
then the cover art does do the song justice.
Yeah. So again, this is Minefield, The Final Storm. Let's get after it.
Nothing but widespread devastation. Fallen cities, broken homes, the final storm.
forecast calls for destruction tonight, death tomorrow, and Armageddon by the weekend. This could be the end of life as we know it.
Seems unlikely, but we can always hope.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So first listen, what are your thoughts?
I want more. That was, yeah. So Minefield is, oh, wow. Do they have more music? Is that it? Is there more?
I think there is past material of them, but
Okay.
anything off this new album is I think June 25th is
better.
the time that the new album is going to be
Okay.
released. But yeah, I'm like,
That's cool.
again, as
Well-
soon as it was over, I'm like, I need more. Like,
So that's probably going to be my like top 5, like in my top 5 like releases of this year. And I mean, we're just halfway through this year and it's only been heat after heat.
Mhm.
And so, what's not to talk about it?
like the fact that
the
you can do
riffs,
like
the breakdowns.
the insane dive bombs for like over 16 measures and just like,
That's
wow,
insane.
wow! Just love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
What's also cool is that they animated the cover art for Spotify's like 15-second background and stuff. So that was really cool.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
I think I have it
Yeah,
turned off
I
on my
noticed that
phone
one.
because I think it's like a data
Oh.
saver kind of thing. But no, that's cool.
Okay, well, that's good to know. But yeah, yeah, that just goes to show the covers can do the song justice. and
Absolutely.
wow.
Yeah, I know on the video version of this, I'm gonna put like the album cover and some of those things. But yeah, like
That's cool.
you
that's
know,
cool.
it's funny that you're doing a lot of like I've listened to this playlist front to back a number of times, but you're going in blind on a couple of these songs, and I
You're
think
going
that's really
blind.
funny.
Yeah.
But I do agree,
is-
like killer album artwork really works in your favor. To get people like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this? Like, I need to listen to
It's
this.
it's the DVD cover essentially, or the game cover. You pick up a game sometimes because the game cover is just like, whoa, what? This looks insane.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
that's Matt's nerdy side coming through. But yeah, shout out to Minefield.
nerd.
Shout out to Florida crossover music. Next
Mm.
up,
same.
this first pick of mine. I think this band is called Boulevard of Death. It's just BLVD
sense.
of Death. So this band is out of Italy, of all places, and
Ooh,
I
fun.
I found out about them through Lumpy from Sanctions record label Days of the Future Past.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
again, it was funny. I think when they put it out, it was just like they threw a bunch of like Italy flags, and he was like, "Just go eat some pasta" or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And you know,
That's cool.
jokes aside, the band is really, really good. The track we're gonna listen to is called "Delusion" off their EP "Hate Too Much to Love." That's a killer name.
Ooh, that
Super
is-
hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I guess like what I wanted to pick for this one is like a band that's in that European sphere needs to have more attention in the North American space, because
Oh, totally.
you know it's hard enough to break through some of those. I just punched my desk. Did you hear that?
Yeah. You're so excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited, but like
I'm excited. to listen to
this
it.
song specifically doesn't have a lot to it, but I think it really works in
Sometimes
favor of
those
the
are the
band,
best songs.
because sometimes a lot of hardcore can just here's the riff into the next riff, and this band really is intentional,
riffs.
or this song specifically is intentional about like here's like a couple like key things, and we're gonna repeat it but do it differently. The ending of the song that kind of has like, call it it's not really a breakdown, but I really like what the drummer changes up some things, because I love when I think how something is going to sound and then the drummer's like, nah, it's actually like this, and you're like, damn, that's way
Nah,
sicker.
psych. Yeah.
Psych. Yeah.
Psych.
So
Yeah.
without
Sometimes. Oh, go
no,
ahead.
what were you gonna say?
Sometimes like less is more,
Mhm.
and I find that a lot in music with hardcore and electronic music. Sometimes too many robot sounds isn't always the best thing.
Right. So without further ado, this is Boulevard of Death. Hopefully that's the correct name of the band. Off Delusion, off their album or EP, Hate Too Much to Love. Let's get it.
Just alone, come to this war. As alone, here we go. Like who you ever want you. So good friends, you don't really know. Let the time pass. Why you put me wrong? They might leave you alone. When the shit explodes, now you are listening to what you want to, and not the things you really need to. Let the time pass, but you put me wrong. They might leave you alone when the shit explodes. Let the time pass by and prove me wrong. Then might leave you alone when the shit explodes. Are you ready to face reality? That fantasy ain't gonna last forever. Choose you guns, stop being blind. Goes after all this need might be no journey back.
So yeah, that's Boulevard of Death.
That's a fun track.
That was your first time listening to that?
Yeah. It sounded a lot like oh crap, Cold World, Real Truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like the
Yeah, sure.
simplicity of how like we said less is more, or like I said less is more, and that snare, is it the snare? The snare roll.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah, into the last part? Yeah.
Until the last part was really cool, and yeah, it reminded me of Cold World and how it's like they repeat it, but it's like it gets better and better, and you're like, I just want a loop of this for like hours. I just want the 10-hour YouTube version.
Yeah, like
And so-
the 10-hour YouTube version. Yeah, I like the beginning of the song is like 2 parts and it kind of repeats, and you know, there's some slight changes, and then that last breakdown kind of like is super simple, but I don't know, it's really, really good. So
really hits you in the face.
yeah, so
really
Italians,
face
you know,
wrecker.
or people from Italy are doing it right. So shout out to Beloved
Yeah.
of Death. Highly recommend you check out the full EP if you're into that.
Is it out? Is it?
Oh yeah,
Is it
the
out?
whole EP is
Yeah.
out. So yeah, gotta go
Let's
check it
go.
out. Especially if
Yeah,
it's
I'm
called
stoked.
Hate Too Much to Love. Like
Exactly.
such a mindset.
It really is.
Matt, tell me
It's a
what
vibe.
we got next on the docket.
So we've got BODYBOX. They are from Orlando, Florida. Then the track that I chose is Dope Low. It's off their debut EP, Through the Bonfire. Oh, bong.
Yeah,
like
not
smoker,
bonfire,
smoker
bong.
alert,
BONG fire.
It is a 2-fisted, 2-stepping, double wide death metal. So
Yeah, I was curious
I'm-
if you're going to include that off their Bandcamp. I can attest, like
that-
this stuff fucking slams. A good friend of the show, Gator of Dog and Mood Ring and Grave View. Whoa, my voice got a little weird there. A ton of sick
At
bands.
8.5.
Yeah, that 8.5. 8.2. I have to slow down a little bit.
8.2.
I'm already feeling a little jittery. But yeah, BODYBOX, to my knowledge, was all done by him, and he does a killer job of any,
So it's a one-man project?
No. So Gator
Oh,
is just the person who engineered and
Oh,
recorded
okay.
it. But anything that
that's
he
exciting.
touches always smacks. So
And death metal is sick. I'm also a fan of death metal, so
yeah,
which is probably surprising to a lot of people.
yeah.
But
But yeah, let's the album artwork itself is super eye
it's very
catching,
death
just like
metal.
a devil
And
face
that's
on
why
a
I chose
tank.
it, which is rocking.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's
Oh, got it.
we got it. Yeah, that
Yeah.
that shit slaps.
Wow. It just takes you straight into it. There's no like leading up. There's no like. I find with death metal, well, I guess it's more doom metal, but like it takes you through like a gradual like increase.
Sure, yeah.
It gradually gets like intenser, but this one was just like punches you straight in the face and is like, we're going in this, we're going down.
Yeah. I remember when Gator came on the podcast and we were talking about how there's people in hardcore that have gone on and started like death metal bands. And like maybe just that hardcore mentality where it's like this song needs to be under 3 minutes, and it's like just applying that to writing death metal music. Like, we don't need to have all these different crazy parts. Like, we can just make a 1.5 minute ass beating song. So
and have it all in there, and then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I want more, but it's also like, ooh, that was like it's like when you're eating a cake and you want another piece, but then you're like, no, I'm fine, like that piece was good enough, but you're like, I want more.
yeah.
Like, I'll ruin my appetite kind of thing. And so
Yeah. So next on the docket, that's going to be
This
the
one
go-to word for me for this episode. But
yeah.
my next pick
docket
is
counter.
a band that again, very similar to Matt's as far as a debut. A very newer band to the hardcore space. Die Alone, which is a band
Art
from
cover is very sick.
yeah, so they're a band from Toronto, so I want to have a little bit of
Shout out.
Canadian representation for our first, listen TF
Oh,
up,
yeah, definitely.
listening party. And Die Alone is made up of members of Born Without Hope and Rust, I believe. So a ton of
Ooh.
homies to the Scoped
So
universe.
it's a slapper.
Yeah. I knew when the album artwork got posted from the friends that I know in this band, I was like, oh, okay, there's the vibe here. Definitely pulling from some backtrack influences.
Yeah, it's very early, like 2011,
mhm.
2013 kind of vibe.
Yeah, so like I said, the band is called Die Alone. They're from Toronto. The track we're going to be listening to is called Existence Without Destiny off their debut EP, Self-Fulfilling Prophecy. Yeah, like again,
Killer
like
title.
I'm a fan of this band because of the people that I know through it, but I'm also trying to create some bridges to kind of bring more bands from Eastern Canada out to Western Canada and vice versa when shows do come
Please.
back, because
I
obviously there's a spatial or a great amount of distance to be traveled, but clearly there's
that's very
a ton of
true.
talent coming out of both areas of the country. So shout
I
out.
do want to see Russ live. That's like my top 5 bands
Yeah.
I want to see live.
Well,
Once
after we
shows
listen to
come.
this, maybe you can add Die Alone to that list as
And
well.
probably Die Alone. I just want to go to Toronto for a week and experience that scene.
Absolutely. Well, without further ado, this is Existence Without Destiny by Die Alone. Yeah, buddy.
The more we listen, the more I want shows to come back, because holy, you can definitely hear the like Toronto, Ontario sound in that.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
it's very like, I was telling you while we were listening to this, if I could two-step, I would definitely two-step to
Yeah,
this song.
that's a
So
certified
maybe,
two-step song for sure.
Yeah. Add that to, that'll be a new playlist, certified two-steps.
Ooh,
So-
interesting.
Ooh,
Yeah, we
look
should
at
make
that.
that.
I'll jot that down. Where's my notepad? But yeah, no, that was like, I'm really glad that we're exploring that side of Canada, because when I got into hardcore 6-7 years ago, I was always like Calgary or like Alberta, BC hardcore, and I was like, wait, there's like a whole section of Canada that's not really talked about.
Yeah.
And then the last, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years now, it's just like, oh, there is like that side of Canada that has really cool bands, and Die Alone is definitely on that, and
Yeah,
it was a
definitely.
really fun experience.
Yeah, like obviously like Cold Shoulder, Rust. There's a plethora of great bands from the Toronto scene. But yeah, like just thinking about it now, there's not as many bands that kind of rock that classic New York hardcore esque, if you want to call it that, stuff
Yeah.
in Western Canada. There's like a lot of metallic
No.
and metalcore and some of those things, but
Right.
I think maybe Toronto's closer to New York, that maybe there's more of
Yeah.
that they're influenced by, but yeah, shout out to Die Alone. Love a lot of people
It
in those
sounded
bands.
very New Yorky,
Yeah, so
if I can
definitely
say
go check out that
so.
EP if you're into those jams. Matt, what do we got next?
Well, we've got a classic. I don't well no. So I've heard it pronounced Zayo. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, it is Zayo.
Yeah, ooh, look at that.
I was like, if you say Zao, I'm gonna punch you through this Zoom call.
Well, it's been nice being a part of Scope's exposure. This is me resigning.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, they are from Greensburg. I don't know. Yeah, I'll explain it for the new listeners. They're from Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Their track is Lost Star off their new record, The Crimson Corridor. Did I say that
Yeah,
right?
you're good.
Yeah, okay, cool. I picked this song
It's hard to
because
read sometimes.
yeah. So when I really started diving into hardcore a couple of years ago, I always got suggested these guys, and I like really dived into their 98 album, Where Blood and Fire. I think it's Burns. I can't read it. I can't read the rest. But yeah, I got sucked into that, and then when I heard that they were coming out with new material, I was like, "Yo, this is sick!" And so when I saw that, we put it into the playlist, I was like, "All right, I'm gonna play it." And like the last couple of songs, this is my first time hearing this, and so I'm really excited.
So out of the two picks that we've already done, you have heard this song before?
I haven't.
Oh,
no.
okay. You just knew of the new release
I just
and their
knew-
past material. Okay, I got you.
Exactly. So technically, but I also heard that they like kind of changed their style. So or like it's new material from their old. So I'm excited to hear what's coming.
Yeah, it's very apparent to me that a lot of people, like back in the day when they were like first getting into maybe heavy music, Zayo was maybe one of those things, especially through like the Christian metal circles, especially.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like I like being fully transparent, like Zayo for me wasn't one of those bands that I'm super knowledgeable about, but I saw a lot of people talking about this album and tossed it on, and Matt picked it, so that's what we're gonna.
In my Christian circle, a lot of people that I told that I was into hardcore, they suggested this band, and so I was like, okay, they must be good.
Yeah.
And so
And the new logo is cool. I like that.
it is cool.
Yeah.
It's very like modern but grungy and trash as like the trash style font.
I was like, you're like, yeah, this band is trash. I'm like, whoa, dude.
Anytime
Don't have Zayo come for us.
That is true. Anytime I'm looking up like fonts for like band logos, anytime I'm looking for that like grunge style, the subcategory is always trash font. And so
I almost spit
it's
up
so
there.
interesting. So on like Behance, if
Siri,
you're looking for,
show me trash fonts.
So a
Hey,
word
Google.
for any designers.
What is trash font? Sorry, I just thought that was too funny.
No, you're good. Yeah, so for those designers, little tangent. If you're looking for metal fonts on Behance, search up trash typeface and you'll get what you're looking for, trust me. So yes, We have Lost Star.
Lost Star by Zayo.
I don't think they're trash.
No,
please.
this song is good. Jokes aside. So hit that cue there, Matt.
That was cool.
Yeah,
That was wow.
definitely.
That's like
Definitely a little different from the other stuff that we've been playing. But
oh
it's a
yeah.
good time. Yeah.
I think that was the longest song, and it definitely didn't stay the same. Like halfway through, it just goes into that like really chill like doom metal kind of like rising action. It's like we gave you some action, now we're bringing you back to like a slow, like bring out your lighters and wave them around.
Yeah. Do the side to side. Not the side to
Yeah.
side, the mosh, the hands.
The hands, do the wave, as the hockey players say.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
you know, you can't deny it. If you're a guitar player, like there's some killer little riffs and little nuggets there.
Oh yeah.
Like
I liked how it kept on switching up though. Like it wasn't the same like repetitiveness. It was always like, and like you were saying, like a possible keychain in there.
Yeah.
And so through my headphones, I couldn't really hear it in my wireless earbuds. So, but
yeah, no,
but it was cool. Yeah, no, and oh yeah, also the clean vocals were a surprise.
Yeah.
Like a nice surprise. Like, and they had some kind of like effect on it to make it sound like dreamy 90s metalcore.
yeah, definitely.
Um,
I think
yeah.
I was also gonna say any band that's named with a Z is or a Z, you know, for all the Canadians. If there's any American listeners, we say
Shout out to
Z
you.
Z. But sometimes you interchange it because you don't want to say Zedo or
Yeah.
Zedo.
Zedo. So we got Zedo on.
Sounds like isn't there a DJ
Zedo.
named Zed or
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
he's from Germany.
I'm not like too far into this beer to be completely out of touch.
No, you're right. And he spells his name Zedd.
Right. Yeah. But
So,
I always
there's
think
a couple,
like name me a band that is not a good band that starts with a Z.
That was very true.
You got Zulu, Zone Zero.
Right?
You got like fucking ZZ
Right?
Top. Like
Hey.
it's just
They've got big
one of the
beards.
coolest letters because it's at the very end. Save the best for last, right?
And it's one of
Zao.
the coolest looking letters.
Yeah. It's almost like a thunderbolt.
The versatility in it, there's a lot of versatility for designing. Zebra, yeah, right.
I'm trying to think
Zebras
of
are
other
cool.
Z bands. I don't want to look at my Spotify
Yeah.
because that would be cheating.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
I can only think of DJs like their Zed's dead.
well, comment your favorite band that starts with a Z, or
DJs for
or
all those
DJs. Doesn't
multi-genres.
matter. Next on the list here, we got Cell, which is a band that is kind of shares members from Denver and Oklahoma. I had to do some
Ooh.
research because they just had their area codes, but I knew that it was members of like friends from Omen out of Oklahoma, and then friends
Ooh.
from Romaine and
Omen's
Sustain, which are from Denver. So I was like, you know, Cell was a band that did like their debut single at the very end of last year, and as soon as I knew that Skylar, who does vocals, was doing another band, I was on board immediately. And this
cool.
this EP, so the track we're gonna listen to is called Drown in the Blood of Sorrow, which is off their debut EP, Sadistic Sounds of Suffering, which is a lot of
That's
alliteration. So I'm really happy that I
Yeah.
landed that on the first go.
Good job.
But yeah, like
Gold star.
as far as like badass music that needs more attention, Cell is at the top of the list in my opinion. I think this stuff
That's a
is
really
like
cool
metalcore
name.
that like will beat your ass and take
Oh!
your heart out of your
Down
chest.
for it.
So
I'm down for a beating.
yeah, I'm down for a beating.
Also, Cell sounds like a really cool band name.
Mhm.
Like I find band names with just 4 letters are some of the coolest ones.
Yes, yeah.
I can't.
It definitely has that hardcore vibe with like the short one word, one syllable band name. But
Yeah.
this band could, in my opinion, be up on the stages with the big hardcore metalcore acts of our day.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm seeing their animated music video. Like they've got like a 7-second clip on their Spotify, and it's nothing but just like it's kind of like the new Vatican music video. It's just all over. Like it's just handshaky. Like there was
Cell
no
and
gimbal
Vatican
involved.
should tour in 2021, 22. That would be very, very cool.
Let me plug in right there.
Yeah. Guys, let's make it happen. But yeah, without further ado, this is Cell out of Denver and Oklahoma. I give that a big old oh fuck yes, brother.
That was sick, yo! Insert the boom, 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 boom. That was cool.
Honestly,
That was
like
cool.
the minute that I first heard the single, I was like, and I apologize to the person that I'm talking about for not remembering. I think I'm not even gonna guess your name because I just forget it. But just like some of the or just like guitar work, I was like, this sounds like Remain Sustained. But like I knew a large portion of the band was based out of Oklahoma.
Yeah, it
but-
sounds very Oklahoma. I don't know if that's a term, but I'm going with it.
Oklahoma. No, it's badass. I have been
Yeah.
telling as many people as I can to check that out. And obviously one that I wanted to feature here on the listening party because
That was
it
really
slaps.
cool.
It's three
Yeah.
songs of absolute devil's work.
I wasn't expecting the vocals. Like when you said metalcore, I was thinking like just not like doomy death metal kind of like hard. But
I honestly
mean,
think
it fits
Skylar
so
is
well.
one of the most underrated, like heavy hardcore vocalists. Like I love his
Oh, yeah.
vocals. Like the stuff that he does in Omen and in this band, I'm just like, yeah, just all about
You
it.
just want more.
All
yeah,
about it.
That's definitely. Yeah, I'm stoked to a lot of the songs that you've picked today for the bands. I'm just stoked to just go and listen through all their discography. Like, oh, it's gonna be a busy rest of the week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick up a lot of design gigs just so I have an excuse to listen to music.
All right. Well, we got I guess 4 tracks left.
Yes.
You're I left the group session again. I'll jump back in, but
No
tell me what we're gonna be playing next.
So we're gonna be listening to. This is another band that I need to, that I've like really been meaning to check out a lot, and this is my excuse. And it's
Just
so
do it
I'm
on the
picking-
actual podcast episode.
That's right. So this is Gojira.
Yes.
I think I'm pronouncing it
Gojira.
right. Oh, look at that, 2 for 2. I didn't know they were from France actually, so that's a little fun tidbit for myself.
Yeah,
They're
I'm
from
pretty sure when I
Milan.
was prepping for the show that they are from France.
Yeah,
It's crazy
And
that,
so they're
that
from-
this band used to be called Godzilla of all things, and I'm like,
Yeah,
no, it's
right.
Gojira.
Yeah, and so I'm pretty sure I've listened to them before because I listened to BBC One Radio,
Mhm.
and every Sunday they do metal, rock, and hardcore show by Daniel P. Carter, and he loves that band. And so and they're coming out with a new album. And so I've heard nothing but good things about that band. And so the track that I picked, or that we picked, is Newfound off their newest album, Fortitude. So
Yeah, and
I'm excited.
I'll just add before you play the track, it's pretty crazy that this band is bringing out Knocked Loose on a tour in the fall.
Which is wild. Yeah. Yes. So many announcements in this episode.
Yeah, definitely. While you play the track, I might go and take a piss because I'm drinking 2 bevs and I'm feeling it. But without further ado,
I'm on my third.
Let's take Gojira.
Let's rock and roll.
Left
keeps going. Yeah, that's a proper fade out.
Yeah.
Just
Doesn't
so
end
epic.
abruptly. Yeah.
I feel they're a band at that level that they can just. Yeah, we're gonna have a 2-minute outro.
Yeah. That was really cool. That was quite the journey. Yeah, I felt like I did a 6-minute journey. The riffs, it all stayed the same, but also didn't get boring. It was just like, oh, what's gonna happen next?
Yeah, they're
a lot can
a
happen.
band at that metal they're at that level of being a huge metal band that they're like, yeah, we're gonna have this 6-minute song and just ride things out, and I don't know,
And you're gonna enjoy it.
and you're gonna enjoy it, absolutely.
But it was a good time.
Yeah,
I'd say it was a good time.
yeah. I have to listen to that whole record, but a lot of people are talking about it, and I think it's probably going to be a serious contender for like top albums for this year for sure.
It's very true. It's definitely, yeah. I'm definitely gonna check their stuff out more.
Yes.
Because I'm definitely been sleeping on them for a while.
Yeah.
So
No better way to check out new music than on this show that you're the co-host
exactly. Check out my blog tomorrow.
So the next song that we have is from a newer band, Hostile Takedown. This
cover looks sick.
Yeah, so just speaking of the cover, designed by a good friend of the show, John Mayo, which
shout out.
But the band itself is from, where the fuck are my notes? I have to get those so I can cheat. Southwest Virginia. The track is Summons of Souls off their debut demo, just called Demonstration. Two of the members that are in this band, Jack and Dakota, are kind of the people that run What It Takes blog, which is a good friend of Scoped Exposure in general. So as soon as Jack was like, here's a band that I'm in, I was like, say less. Like I know you know hardcore, so I know it's gonna be sick, and they really delivered on that. So
looks like a wild time.
Yeah, it's a wild time. So let's, without any more preamble, let's just fucking send it for Summons of Souls. Hostile Takedown, baby. Let's go.
That, wow, what's not to like it? I added that to the 2-step playlist.
Yeah, we're just firing off the list from
Yeah,
from this
exactly.
show.
Add that. That mini guitar solo is like, I was looking at it, I was like, there's like 15 seconds left of the song, and then it's like guitar solo, psych, and it's done. It's like, why why not in the middle? Make it longer.
Nah,
But
just a little noodling at
just
the
a
very
little-
end.
yeah, wow, that was cool.
Yeah, like
was very, very
honestly,
cool.
anything from What It Takes blog, whether it's content that they're making or bands, I will forever support it. Jack and Dakota have been nothing but sweet and beautiful people. So yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to the rest of the band, and yeah, I hope to see that in a live setting when shows come back. I think that would be
That
bad
was a fun
fucking
time.
ass.
That was very, very fun.
Mhm.
I like that. I want more. I'm gonna. Oh, excuse me. All these 3 bevs are just
3 bevs are
carbonated
nothing but trouble when it comes to bourbon.
they're all done. So we are checked out of bevs.
They're all done. You have a way stronger bladder than I do. I have like
I'm
like
very, very
know,
surprised.
355 milliliter can, and I'm like, get me to the toilet.
I'm very surprised. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm trying to build up my bladder.
We don't have to talk about that. People are like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
this podcast right now?
That's true.
So last 2 songs.
Oh.
So Matt, this is
So-
your last pick on your side. Tell me what you got.
We've got Drug Church. I have listened to them in the past, and yeah, I'm just really excited to hear new Drug Church. The cover alone, once again, seems very interesting, and it's off of. So they're from Albany, New York, and really New York just pumps out great bands in general.
Hotspot for hardcore.
And so, oh yeah, exactly. And then we've got the track "Bliss Out" off of their latest 2-song release titled "Twainy."
Yeah, I think it's Twainy. I don't know.
Twainy, yeah.
It's one of those words.
Well,
I'm not
It's one of those words.
I'm not set up after drinking one of these to be
Yeah.
correctly. But
So someone in the comments down below, let us know how it's.
oh,
actually
Patrick is
pronounced
gonna
in
just
the
come for
little-
me in my DMs, be like, dude, don't feature my band if you're not gonna know how to pronounce it. It's funny though,
So,
because just having Thomas from Axe to Grind on, like we talked about this song
Yeah.
specifically, and you know,
and I skipped over that part of the episode because I was like, I don't want any like I
oh,
wanna jump into
you
it.
were listening to it and you're like, no, I can't listen.
Yeah, I was like, wait, Drug Church, wait, that was my selection.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
Well, props to
So,
Matt for wanting that real, authentic reaction for this episode.
just in case he was like, hey, this is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I want like a full on fresh
Yeah.
listen.
Well, this song is a bop, so without further ado, Drug Church,
certified spicy
Bliss Out,
Spence.
baby.
I guess I'll see it.
kid. First time went bad, time to start again.
Oh man, what a loss. Catch you at the vigil. I got my candle ready. Celebrate a life or something.
With so many reasons to hate me.
The cowbell is
Hard.
always so unexpected. You're just like, oh, you just threw a cowbell
Wait,
in it.
what?
Okay.
Are we listening to country now? Hardcore needs more cowbells.
Yeah.
There, I said it.
Hardcore needs
I
more
said
country.
Hardcore needs more cowbells.
Oh, cowbell in general. No, I agree. I
And-
agree.
And
It's
I
subtle.
mean, if
It's not overpowering. It's just like,
no. So the question goes: when they perform this song live,
will
Are
Patrick
they
play
gonna
the
have-
cowbell?
will
That
they
is
have a
the
cowbell?
that is the question.
That is the real question. You have a cowbell.
At
in your
Patrick,
song, but
will you play a cowbell at future
We
drug
need
church
this.
shows?
We need this answer for scientific research.
Yeah, it's the hardcore equivalent of all the metalcore kids doing like the Slipknot style bat to the keg. It's just the cowbell.
Yeah. Slipknot has Bat to the Keg. Drug Church has cowbells.
The scales are balanced. Oh boy.
That was fun.
No,
The
the
rest of
track is
the
really
vocals-
fun. I love the
Yeah.
really simple guitar and drum parts. Yeah, like again, like I think a theme with some of these songs is like less is more for hardcore for
Exactly.
sure. Yeah.
And it reminds me of like a track that would be played on like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4.
Yeah.
It's much like, yeah, I could like,
I could land
see myself
the
skating.
super combo to that song for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, skate around San Francisco, kick flip over. You
Yeah.
know.
Probably need to be something New York related because the band is from there. But
True,
yeah,
true,
doesn't
true.
matter.
I don't think there is a New York level in any of the Tony Hawk games.
That's a good question. Any
I'm
Tony
gonna-
Hawk heads, please let it be known. Because, you know, you get like the airport level or, you know, the warehouse or whatever. But
San Diego.
yeah,
I'm gonna
lots of
fact check
California
this.
stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna fact
While
check this
while
one.
Matt is fact checking Tony Hawk maps, I'll kind of.
So,
Oh wait, no.
So,
yeah, before we move
um,
on, let's finish that off.
yeah. So I fact checked it, and there is one in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. There is a New York level.
Okay.
Oh right. It has the underpasses. It's probably one of the more challenging maps. Like I'll send it to you after.
Okay.
But yeah, there is.
Is it?
There is-
It
I
might be one
forgot.
of the. Is it one of the last levels?
Yeah, like it's pretty far into the game.
Okay.
Like it's I think one of the last like three, 4 maps. I could be wrong. I haven't played that game in a while, but yeah, so to fact check it, there is a map.
We got
There is-
priorities here. The priority isn't playing music. It's fact checking Tony Hawk levels.
That is true. I don't
There's
want to
an
be
order
known
of things
for
here.
this. That
Um,
is true.
but yeah, we got the last track of this listening party. Yeah, we'll yeah, I'm really I had a ton of fun doing this with you, Matt, and
This has been a lot of fun. And actually, I have listened to this.
oh, okay.
song.
This is the one
So,
song
yeah.
that Matt
SPIRITBOX has they've really jumped onto my list of like new bands that I'm really getting into.
Right. Yeah, and
realized I
and for
just
anyone who's
introduced the
been
band.
listening this long, because I always love to leave little Easter eggs and
Yeah.
little hints for future episodes. But I'm going to be interviewing Bill, who's the bass player of SPIRITBOX.
Yo.
I think
that's
this
sick.
week potentially, but yeah, that will be a future
Oh,
episode that's coming
congrats.
out. But
I'm
yeah,
stoked.
Matt kind of spilled the beans. The last track for this listening party experience, whatever we're calling this when it comes out, is SPIRITBOX out of Vancouver Island, British Columbia. The track is their newest single, Circle With Me, which will probably be on a full length that's coming out on Rise Records, which they just signed to, but that hasn't been officially announced, but that's my theory that will happen.
I don't think they've only had an EP, which came out back in 2017, but they've only just been doing single releases.
Yeah, but I think with the the signing of Rise Records, a full album probably is warranted, and is clearly what people are wanting for sure. Like whether you're into that style of heavy music or not, you have to attest that SPIRITBOX is bringing a lot of new eyes to Canada, and I think it really just goes to show, like, you don't have to be from like a major city in the Canadian sphere, whether you're from Vancouver, Toronto, or even Calgary. Like, this band is from Vancouver Island of all places, is really making some badass music and really putting just like putting a lot of people onto like Canadian music.
And the fact that they surprised us with signing with Rise Records kind of came out of the blue, because usually it's like, oh, we're signed to like this smaller label, or like, I don't know.
Yeah. As soon as they announced that, I was like, okay, it's game on.
All right,
it's game on for that.
Yeah. And so, because I've been following them since Ryan from Future Brew was their drummer, and so I've known about them almost ever since they started.
I didn't even know that.
So seeing them, yeah, he was one of their original drummers, and so he was drumming with them for a bit, and this is all from what I saw on social media, and then one day he's like, hey, I'm passing the torch to someone else, and now.
Well, I'll have to ask Bill about that when I have him on the podcast officially. But
and so
so to end off the music side, there will be a little bit of an outro, so please stay around for that. But yeah, this is SPIRITBOX, Circle With Me, and Matt, spin it.
Be yours. Be yours. Feel the weight of a motor. It could all be yours if you had the words of play. Try to cut down the
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That was very, very sad. Ooh, that was cool.
Yeah, I like a lot of people like it's fun reading the comments of some of these music video drops. Like a lot of people are convinced that Spiritbox can't write a bad song, and
No.
like I haven't
They're not
listened to their
wrong.
full discography, but everything that I've heard from them has been like, yep, yep, yep. There's great takeaways from that, and that song. If that's just a snippet from an entire album, like game on.
I am ready. Oh yeah, and I like how Courtney is able to go from clean to like harsh growl. Well, not growls, but like can go to screaming is insane.
Mhm.
Well, screaming is wrong too, but anyways, like she can go from high to low. I'm gonna say that.
There's
She
a
can go
lot
from
of
high
dynamics within
versatility.
that.
Yeah.
I
like and
I think
Oh, go
my
ahead.
favorite part of that song is the final chorus, how it doesn't
yeah,
start with the open note. Like Mike
No.
starts with like the higher note and it just changes around. Like it's clearly shown that through Mike and Bill and Courtney and the rest of the band that they've done a lot of music projects in the past, and I always feel like
totally
every band that you do after, like just all
Just
those
gets better and
experiences
better.
get you a better head start on the new project. So yeah,
totally.
all the stuff that they've done in the past is paying off in Spiritbox.
Yeah.
So
And they're playing Download Fest next year.
Oh, cool.
Which is like a massive accomplishment. They're playing a fest that's being headlined by Kiss, Iron Maiden, Deftones, Korn, Megadeth. Yeah.
I just realized that
It's wild.
two bands on this 10 band list are like BODYBOX and Spiritbox. That was not intentional, but that happened.
No. Oh, look at that. Yeah. You just opened my eyes. So that's funny. That's cool though.
Yeah. So again, like all these songs are on our Spotify playlist. Currently, the timing that this episode comes out, it's our weekly drop. But what I've been doing is any monthly recap, we add it to a 2021 playlist. So everything from January, February, March, and April are all in that. You can also listen to
Very,
any of
very
our
cool.
playlists through Apple Music now that I mentioned at the at the beginning of the
Hey.
episode. And if you want to
That's
hear
exciting.
more, podcasts like this, let us know. And, Matt and I will go back in time and do January and February. And because there's some killer stuff from there that I would like to do some kind
Oh
of
yeah.
listening
This whole
party to.
year, minus the pandemic, this whole year has been sick for music releases. And yeah, it seems like January, February, March are always one of the coolest months for music drops.
Yeah.
And really sets up the year. And I mean, if festivals were happening, it'd be the perfect like preparation for it.
Mhm.
Prepping, but
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
there's no
Traditionally, like the winter months are times where bands are recording and maybe people are
Oh,
just dropping
exactly.
stuff early just because they can't, play shows on a full-time basis
Yeah.
right now. But yeah, I appreciate everyone who's been listening. Thank you, Matt, for coming
Thank you.
and
Thank you
drinking some
for
bevs
letting
with me.
co-host.
Of course, yeah, and we will probably do this again. But if you want to hear this style again, leave a comment,
Let
send
us
us
know.
a DM. Thank you so much for supporting Scoped Exposure. Subscribe, and follow the
Surprise us by
podcast
subscribing.
and the playlist and all that good shit. And that's a wrap. Do you have anything else left to say, Matt, before the outro kicks in?
Thank you for listening to us ramble about music that I didn't listen to before.